Everyone wants to own a data center. You buy a building, fill it with servers, rent space to companies, and collect thousands of dollars every month. No customers walking through the door, no expensive storefront, just rows of blinking machines making money 24 hours a day. At least that's the version people imagine. The reality is very different. A data center doesn't sell computers. It sells one thing: reliability. Every second your servers stay online, you earn trust. Every minute they go offline, you lose money, customers, and reputation. The companies using your facility aren't storing family photos. They're running banks, hospitals, online stores, AI systems, video streaming platforms, and cloud applications. If your building loses power for just 10 minutes, millions of users could be affected. That's why owning a data center isn't simply a real estate investment. It's one of the most expensive infrastructure businesses in the world. Before your first customer pays you $1, you'll already be spending millions on land, construction, electrical systems, cooling equipment, backup generators, networking hardware, security, and fire protection. And even after everything is built, the bills never stop. Electricity runs every second of every day. Cooling systems operate around the clock. Generators require constant maintenance. Technicians monitor equipment 24 hours a day. A single equipment failure can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, or even millions within hours. So why do companies still invest billions into data centers? Because demand keeps growing. Artificial intelligence, cloud computing, online gaming, streaming services, cryptocurrency, and billions of connected devices all need one thing: secure places to process and store data. The internet isn't floating in the cloud. It's running inside buildings just like these. Today, we're breaking down the real economics of owning a data center: how much it costs to build, how operators actually make money, where the biggest risks hide, and whether this business is truly a gold mine or one of the most capital-intensive investments you can make. The real startup cost. The first question everyone asks is simple: how much does it cost to own a data center? The answer depends entirely on the size. A very small edge data center serving local businesses might cost between $2 million and $10 million to build. A medium-sized commercial facility usually falls between $20 million and $100 million. But large enterprise or hyperscale data centers, the kind used by companies like Amazon, Microsoft, or Google, can easily cost hundreds of millions, with some projects exceeding $1 billion. And here's the surprising part: the building itself isn't the most expensive thing you're buying. The land may cost a few $1 million. Construction adds several million more. But the real money disappears into infrastructure: massive electrical substations, industrial cooling systems, backup diesel generators, battery backup systems that keep servers alive during power failures, fire suppression systems that protect equipment without using water, high-speed fiber connections linking your building to the rest of the internet. All of that costs far more than the walls and roof. Then comes the server space itself: rows of secure racks, cable management systems, monitoring equipment, security cameras, biometric access controls, and network hardware have to be installed before the first customer arrives. Every component is designed with one goal: zero downtime. Because in this business, reliability is the product you're selling. Many first-time investors assume they can save money by buying cheaper equipment. That decision usually becomes very expensive later. A cooling failure, power outage, or network interruption can drive customers away almost instantly. And once large clients lose trust, they rarely come back. That's why professional operators spend heavily from day one, not because they want luxury, but because reliability is worth far more than saving money up front. And that's only the beginning. Even after construction is complete, one monthly expense quickly becomes the biggest cost of running the entire business. Business electricity, the expense that never sleeps. If startup costs are the first shock, electricity is the second. Unlike most businesses, a data center never closes. There are no weekends, no holidays, no overnight shutdowns. Every server, cooling system, network switch, and security device runs 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. That means your electric meter never stops spinning. A medium-sized data center can consume as much electricity as thousands of homes. For larger facilities, monthly electricity bills can reach hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. And servers aren't even the whole story. Every watt a server consumes turns into heat. The harder the servers work, the hotter they become. Without proper cooling, temperatures can rise within minutes, damaging expensive equipment and causing unexpected shutdowns. That's why cooling systems are just as important as the servers themselves. Industrial chillers, CRAC units, cooling towers, pumps, and airflow management systems work nonstop to keep temperatures stable. In many facilities, cooling alone accounts for 30% to 40% of total electricity consumption. Operators constantly monitor something called power usage effectiveness, PUE. A perfect PUE is 1.0, meaning every unit of electricity goes directly to the servers. In reality, most efficient data centers operate between 1.2 and 1.5, while older facilities consume much more energy. Improving PUE by just a small amount can save millions of dollars over the life of a data center. That's why many companies build facilities near cheap electricity sources like hydroelectric dams, wind farms, or regions with lower power prices. Choosing the wrong location can permanently increase operating costs. And because customers expect 99.999% uptime, losing power isn't an option. Every serious data center invests in multiple backup systems before opening its doors. In this business, power isn't just another utility bill. It's the foundation of the entire business model. Next, we'll see how data centers stay online even when the entire electrical grid goes down. Backup power and cooling, why downtime is so expensive. Electricity keeps a data center alive. But what happens when the power grid fails? For most businesses, a power outage means closing for a few hours. For a data center, even a few seconds without electricity can be catastrophic. Banks may stop processing payments. Online stores could lose thousands of sales. Streaming services might go offline. AI platforms could suddenly disconnect millions of users. That's why professional data centers are built with multiple layers of backup power. The first line of defense is the uninterruptible power supply, or UPS. Large battery systems instantly provide electricity the moment grid power disappears. Within seconds, massive diesel generators automatically start and take over the entire facility. These generators aren't small backup units. Many cost hundreds of thousands of dollars each and consume large amounts of diesel fuel during extended outages. Most facilities install multiple generators instead of relying on only one. If a single generator fails, another immediately takes its place. This level of redundancy is expensive, but customers expect nearly perfect uptime. Power isn't the only challenge. Servers generate enormous amounts of heat every second. Without cooling, temperatures can rise quickly enough to damage hardware and shut down entire server rooms. That's why industrial cooling systems run continuously. Cold air is carefully directed through server racks, while hot air is removed before it can build up. Some modern facilities even use liquid cooling for high-performance AI servers because traditional air cooling is no longer efficient enough. Keeping thousands of servers cool is almost as expensive as powering them. For many operators, electricity and cooling together become the largest operating expense after construction. That's why every design decision, from airflow to generator placement, is focused on one goal: keeping customer data online every second of every day. Because in the data center business, customers aren't paying for servers. Is owning a data center worth it? Conclusion. So after looking at the numbers, is owning a data center really worth it? The answer depends on one thing: scale. A data center isn't a business you start with a small investment and grow slowly. It requires massive capital before you earn your first dollar. Land, construction, power infrastructure, cooling systems, networking equipment, security, and backup generators can cost millions of dollars before the facility is even operational. But once the building is filled with paying customers, the business becomes much more predictable. Companies usually sign long-term contracts lasting 3 to 5 years, creating stable monthly revenue and improving cash flow. The biggest challenge is keeping occupancy high. Empty server racks generate no income, but they still consume maintenance, security, and operating costs. Successful operators focus on attracting reliable business clients instead of chasing short-term profits. Another major advantage is the rapid growth of artificial intelligence and cloud computing. Every AI model, streaming platform, online business, financial institution, and government agency needs secure computing infrastructure. As global data usage continues to grow, demand for reliable data centers is expected to grow with it. However, competition is becoming stronger every year. Large companies like Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud continue expanding their own facilities, making it difficult for smaller operators to compete on price alone. That's why successful independent data centers often specialize in niche markets such as healthcare, financial services, disaster recovery, or regional cloud hosting. In the end, a data center is not a passive investment. It is a capital-intensive infrastructure business that demands constant maintenance, technical expertise, and long-term planning. For investors with enough capital, strong management, and reliable customers, it can generate steady income for many years. But for anyone expecting easy money, this business can quickly become one of the most expensive mistakes they'll ever make. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more business documentaries where we uncover the real economics behind the world's most interesting industries.